She pulled into the driveway like nothing mattered. Her headlights cut across the living room window, slow and arrogant. I was sitting on the couch, TV off, phone face up on the coffee table, silent, untouched. I'd stopped waiting for her hours ago. At this point, I was just watching. She got out of the car with her heels in her hand, stumbling slightly. One shoe was still on. Her hair was tangled. She laughed at something either to herself or to whoever just dropped her off and walked up the steps like the night had not happened. Like I did not exist. Then she stopped. The front door was locked. That was not new, we always locked it, but this time there was a piece of paper taped right below the peephole. White. Plain. Her name was not on it. No, we need to talk. Just 9 words in thick black Sharpie. She leaned in and squinted. Then she read it. Her head tilted to the side like a confused puppy. And then she laughed. Laughed like she just read a joke. Like the note was a prank. Like I was a joke. She even pulled her phone out and took a picture of it. That S when she knocked. Not soft. Not panicked. Just 3 fast, bored knocks like I was late for something. Matt? What is this? She said. Her voice was already sharp. Defensive. No trace of confusion or regret. I watched her through the hallway camera feed. She was not scared. She was not even surprised. She was annoyed. She knocked again, louder. Seriously, babe, what kind of game are you playing right now? Game? That word snapped something in me. Because for the last 2 months, she'd been playing the hell out of one. Leaving every other night for girls' nights that were just her, and the guy she claimed was just a friend. Locking her phone. Shutting it off during dinner. Forgetting anniversaries. Staring at me like I was a guest overstaying his welcome in my own house. And I played along. For a while. Until last week when I followed her. No confrontation. No warning. I just drove behind her. Kept a few cars back. Missed her park outside some downtown condo and enter without even knocking. She had the code. I waited 2 hours. She never came back out. That was all I needed. So while she was off enjoying her little fantasy life tonight, I changed the locks. Packed a bag. Took photos. Screenshots. Even downloaded her location history, which she still did not realize I could access. She'd been meeting him at the same building every Thursday. Then Tuesdays. Then Sundays. Routine. Predictable. Disgusting. Now she was locked out. And for the first time in a long time I was not scared of what came next. She pounded on the door again. Open the damn door, Matt. It's cold and I'm not doing this drama bowls. She stopped mid-word. Because the porch light flicked off. I was done playing. She stood there for a solid 30 seconds after the porch light went out, frozen like it finally hit her. This was not just a tantrum. This was real. She tried the doorknob one more time forcefully this time, but it did not budge. Locked. Changed. Final. Her voice was smaller when she spoke again. Matt. Can you just come to the door, please? No more anger. Just confusion. A trace of that fake sweetness she used when she wanted something. I'd seen it before when she wanted to go on a trip with her coworkers, when she bought that $600 handbag and said it was on sale, when she lied about calling her mom but really drove an hour out of town and lied about where she'd been. She shifted her weight in those half-worn heels, crossed her arms like she was cold though it was barely 60 degrees out, and looked around like someone might see her. I did not go to the door. Instead, I picked up my phone and opened the save thread. Not ours, theirs. Her and the guy saved is just the cupcake dot. Turns out cupcake emoji guy was named Ryan. Works in marketing. Drives a black Tesla. Takes to send shirtless mirror pics from his gym's locker room and calls her baby cakes. I scrolled through the messages, skipping over the predictable stuff, flirting, memes, photos. Stopped at the one that mattered. Rachel, he still does not know. I might just keep both. Smirking face. That one hit different. Not just because of what it said, but because it was sent on the night of our anniversary. While I was lighting candles and setting up dinner in the backyard, she was texting another man that she was happy stringing us both along. I desaved that message, printed it, and left a copy taped to her suitcase in the garage, right next to the trash bags filled with her stuff. I did not throw it all out. I'm not that guy. But I did not fold a single thing either. She knocked again, a bit softer. Matt, what the hell is going on? Why is all this stuff in the garage? Are you seriously doing this right now? I watched her face shift as she realized I was not coming to the door. She dialed my number. Once. Twice. Left a voicemail the third time. Matt. Babe. This is ridiculous. Can we please talk like adults? I played the message once. Then deleted it. I went back to the window, cracked the curtain, and watched as she walked down the driveway in circles, pacing, looking at her phone, then back at the door. She even took a selfie at one point, a selfie with this dramatic pout like she was the victim of something. Then she tried the door one last time. Did not knock. Just stood there. Still in that red dress. The one I did not recognize. The one she definitely did not wear for any of the girls she claimed to be with. She tugged it down a little, checked her reflection in the window, and finally let out this angry huff like I'd inconvenienced her by being done. She left 5 minutes later. But not before checking her phone again. And not before looking directly at the security camera with that smug, bitter stare like she was promising a storm was coming. She had no idea. She was already in it. The morning after, I woke up to 15 missed calls. 11 from her. 2 from her sister, Jenna. 1 from a number I did not recognize. And just one from my own mom. She left a voicemail asking if everything was okay because Rachel had apparently shown up crying at her place just after 5 a.m. like some lost puppy. No apology. No explanation. Just waterworks and manipulation. Classic. I stayed in bed for a while. Not asleep, just lying there, staring at the ceiling, arms across my chest like I was pinned to the mattress by the weight of 7 years of lies. The phone buzzed again. Rachel, 6:44 a.m., can we talk like adults? Rachel, 6:45 a.m., I do not know what you think you saw, but you re wrong. Rachel, 6:46 a.m., you re seriously blowing this way out of proportion. That one hit me in the gut. Not because it hurt, but because it was so predictable. Denial. Deflection. Accusation. No accountability. She did not even ask me what I knew. She just assumed I knew something and tried to twist it back on me. I did not reply. By 7:10 a.m. she was calling again. I did not answer. At 7:23 she sent a video. Her face close to the camera. Tears streaming. Makeup smudged. I did not even press play. Instead, I went to the garage, grabbed her suitcase, and wheeled it to the front porch. Put it right where she left her heels the night before. Tape another note to it. Check the folder inside. If you're still confused, ask just Cook. Inside was a cheap plastic binder with printouts. Screenshots of her messages. Her locations. Photos of her walking into Ryan's condo. The air tag I slipped into her purse 2 weeks ago showing a little dotted trail right to his building every time she had a team dinner. She wanted a game? This was checkmate. At 9:02 a.m. she pulled up. Same car. Same clothes from last night. Long glasses now, big ones like that would somehow shield her from what was about to hit. She saw the suitcase. Hesitated. Then she saw me standing behind the glass of the front door. I did not open it. Just watched. She picked up the folder. Opened it. Flipped. Flipped again. Her hands started shaking. She looked up. No more performance. No crocodile tears. Her mouth moved, but I could not hear it. Did not need to. She dropped the folder and stormed toward the door. Matt. She dropped the door. You think this proves something? You were tracking me? You re out of your mind. Now it was my turn to laugh. She blinked like I slapped her. Like she had not seen this version of me before. Because she had not. You lied, Rachel, I said through the door. 4 months. You played me. She scoffed. You reacting like I cheated or something. Nothing even happened with Ryan. I tilted my head. That lie. That exact one. She did not even blink when she said it. You told him you could not wait to see him again. You told him you loved his hands. You told him I was just too boring to leave. She froze. Silence. Then you retaking things out of context. You do not understand how complicated things have been for me lately. And there it was, the switch to victim mode. Like clockwork. I shook my head and slowly pulled the blinds shut. She banged on the door once hard. You seriously doing this? After everything? Exactly. After everything. She did not realize I was already gone. The man she used to lie to? The one she thought would keep forgiving? He was buried under her red dress and cupcake emojis. And I was not digging him back up. She did not leave right away. She stood outside that door for at least 15 minutes after I closed the blinds, pacing, muttering, throwing her hands in the air like I was the one who'd lost it. Every few seconds she'd glance back at the folder on the porch like it might spontaneously catch fire or disappear if she ignored it hard enough. At one point she actually kicked the suitcase. That part made me smile. But then she pulled out her phone. And just like that, the real Rachel showed her face again. She walked a few feet back down the driveway, dialed someone still in plain view of the camera and started performing. Pacing dramatically, waving her arms, trying to cry again, but failing this time. I could not hear the words, but I did not need to. Because 15 minutes later, a car pulled up. A black Tesla. Ryan. I swear, I almost laughed out loud. He stepped out like he thought this was some kind of romantic rescue. Aviator sunglasses. The next shirt that screamed midlife crisis. He did not even glance at the folder, just walked right up to her like a knight in pre-released armor. She launched herself at him in this overly dramatic hug, like a scene out of a bad CW show, and started whispering in his ear. He looked toward the house once. Just once. Then she turned and knocked again softly this time, almost sweet. She did not say anything, just pressed her forehead against the door. That might have worked a month ago. Not anymore. A minute passed. Then she said, loud enough for the porch mic to catch. If you really loved me, you'd let me explain. I stayed silent. She knocked again. Then added, we can fix this. Just talk to me. I do not know what part of that sentence she thought would work. Fix what? Her second life? The lies? The months of covering for late nights, lipstick on her collar, her fake texts from Gabby that she'd sometimes forget to switch back from Ryan's thread. Ryan was still waiting by the car, watching like some smug backup plan she'd called in too early. I could see him tapping on his phone, already bored. That told me everything I needed to know about their connection. He was not here for love. He was here because he thought I'd folded. But I did not fold. I packed the last of my stuff that afternoon. My bags were already in the trunk. I had not told her yet, but I had no plans to stay in that house anymore. It did not feel like home. It felt like a lie with walls and plumbing. At 10:12 a.m., she finally gave up. She turned around, stormed back to Ryan and threw the suitcase into his trunk like it was filled with bricks. They pulled away without another word. But not before she looked back one last time. Her face was not sad. It was not guilty. It was pissed. Like I'd stolen something from her. That was the moment I realized Rachel did not care that she hurt me. She cared that I stopped letting her. And that more than anything told me I made the right call. I locked the door behind me when I left. Not for security. For closure. The first full day without her was quiet in a way that did not feel peaceful. It was surgical, like someone had taken a scalpel to the center of my life, and removed something I did not realize was rotting until it was gone. I stayed in a small rental on the other side of town. One of those week-to-week places with stiff towels and a stale smell of someone else's cigarettes, even though the sign said non-smoking. But it was clean. Safe. And most importantly, hers was not anywhere near it. I did not sleep much that night. My body wanted rest, but my brain was still unpacking everything I'd let slide over the past year. Her absences. Her lies. The weird new lingerie she bought on sale but never wore for me. The way she used to tilt her phone just slightly out of view every time she texted. She was a master at slow betrayal. Not the kind that explodes. No, Rachel was the quiet kind. The kind that poisons your coffee with a smile and asks how your day was while holding the blade behind her back. I kept opening my phone, half expecting a new message. But there was nothing. She had gone silent. That should have been comforting. It was not. By noon, the silence broke. Jenna called. Her sister. I did not pick up. She left a voicemail. Matt, I do not know what Rachel told you, but she's a mess. She said you locked her out? She's not okay. Can you at least talk to her and figure this out like grown-ups? That word again. Grown-ups. Funny how people only use that when they're trying to guilt you into forgiving something unforgivable. I texted Jenna back one sentence. Ask her who Ryan is. She did not reply. About an hour later, Rachel finally broke her silence. Rachel, 1:38 p.m. So that's it? 7 years and you just run away. I stared at it. 7 years? She said that like she had not spent the last 6 months feeding pieces of those years to another man. Like I was the one who flipped the table and stormed out. It took me an hour to decide whether to respond. Not because I was confused, because I was calm and I wanted her to feel the weight of a clear, controlled answer. No anger. No fire. Just truth. Me, 2:32 p.m. I did not run. You pushed. Repeatedly. I just finally stopped coming back. 5 minutes later. Rachel, I made a mistake, Matt. 1. You seriously going to burn everything down over one mistake? That's when I knew. She still did not get it. To her, this was not about betrayal. It was about convenience. About losing her safety net. Her soft place to land. I was not a person. I was a backup plan. A utility. Something reliable she could fall back on when Ryan was busy or bored or not texting back fast enough. And now I had taken that away. I did not answer her text. Instead, I emailed my lawyer. I attached the folder. Screenshots. Location logs. Call records. Time-stamped photos. Not out of spite, out of necessity. I did not want revenge. I wanted clarity. Clean lines. An exit with no loose threads. By 5 p.m. The papers were being prepared. And while she was probably still texting Ryan from the passenger seat of his Tesla, wondering why her little meltdown was not working this time, I was already gone. 2 days later, she showed up at my job. I do not know how she even had the nerve. I work in a mid-size office downtown corporate, but casual. Lots of glass walls and just enough fake plants to make the place feel modern. I was in the middle of a meeting when my coworker Jared popped his head in with that uncomfortable half-smile people make when they've seen something they wish they had not. Hey man. Your wife's here. I blinked. My what? He shrugged. She's downstairs. She said it's important. Of course she did. I excused myself and walked out to the lobby, heart hammering, but my face locked in place. Calm. Controlled. I'd rehearsed this moment in my head 100 times. But I did not expect her to corner me here where I could not raise my voice or walk away or say what I really wanted to say. She was standing near the front desk in a turtleneck and sunglasses like she was trying to look fragile. A scarf wrapped tied around her neck like she thought she was in a French drama. She looked up, spotted me and immediately turned on that sad little smile I used to fall for. Matt, I did not respond. She walked up too fast, too familiar. I needed to see you in person. You blocked me. You re-ignoring me. I did not know what else to do. You could have respected the space I asked for. Her face tightened just for a second. Can we please talk? Privately. I'm working. I know, she said quickly. I'm sorry, I messed up, okay? I panicked. I thought I could handle things on my own and I did not. I should not have lied. But this? This does not have to be the end. There it was again. That entitlement. That expectation that I would fold like always. But I melted her voice. Forget the screenshots, the suitcase, the man in the Tesla. She stepped closer. You know I love you. That line should have hurt. But it did not. You love me, I said, finally looking her dead in the eyes. You loved me while sneaking out 3 nights a week? You loved me when you called me boring and texted another man from our bed. She froze. I could see it how badly she wanted to twist this back around but could not find the thread. It was not like that, she said, voice trembling. I smiled coldly. No? Then tell me how it was. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Tried again. I was lonely, she said, finally, eyes welling. You work so much. You stopped noticing me. I did not feel seen anymore. There it was. The pivot. Not an apology. Not ownership. Just another backhanded accusation. You did not feel seen, I repeated. So instead of talking to me, you let another man crawl into your life and probably into our bed. I never, she started, but I cut her off. You do not have to finish that sentence. You and I both know. She stood there silent, her arms folded like she was cold. Or cornered. You need to leave, Rachel. Her eyes darted toward the receptionist, then back to me. Please. Do not do this here. You came here. She stepped back like I'd shoved her. This is not over, she said quietly. Yes, I said. It is. And I turned and walked away, never looking back. Because that's how you end a performance. You walk off stage and let the curtain fall. It was the next day when she tried to nuke everything. Not just damage control, full-on manipulation warfare. It started with a group text. Rachel, 7:42 a.m. Hey everyone. I know some of you have probably heard rumors or half the story from that. I just want to say this has been a really painful time for both of us, and I wish he had chosen to talk things out privately instead of making a spectacle. I'm not perfect, but I do not deserve to be smeared like this. My phone buzzed for a solid 10 minutes after that. Cousins. My friends. People who had not talked to me in months suddenly felt the urge to check in after she tried painting herself as the poor, heartbroken wife whose monster husband locked her out in the middle of the night. One of her friends, Kelsey, texted me directly. Kelsey. Hey. I do not want to get involved, but Ratch is really not doing well. Maybe you could just call her. I stared at it for a while. Kelsey was the one who covered for Rachel during her girls' nights. Told me she was with her when she was not. Probably thought she was helping a friend. Probably had no idea she was being used. I texted back one line. Me. She was never with you. Was she? No response. I posted nothing. I did not clap back. I did not explain. I did not drop the receipts. Not yet. That silence. That was strategy. Because I knew Rachel and I knew she could not help herself, and she did not disappoint. By 3 p.m., I got an email. Not from her. From HR. Apparently, someone had submitted a complaint about me that I was unstable, possibly dealing with emotional issues, and had acted aggressively during an incident involving a domestic matter. I laughed out loud in my car when I read it. She tried to go for my job. No signature, but it was not hard to trace. The timestamp was just a few hours after I told her to leave my workplace. She wanted to hit where it hurt. Where it was safe. Where I had not built walls around myself yet. But it backfired. I forwarded the message, along with the security footage from the building showing her showing up uninvited. Her getting loud. And me walking away without a word. HR dropped it in less than a day. The funny part? That same night, she texted again. Rachel, 8:06 p.m. I know you're angry, but trying to destroy me is not the answer. I thought you were better than this. And that's when it really hit me. She still believed she was the victim. She still thought I was going to save her from the fires she lit. She had been lying so long, performing so well, that she started believing her own version of the story. And if I had ever doubted myself, even for a second, that text killed it. I was done. Not sad. Not heartbroken. Not confused. Just free. And freedom. After a prison that wears your name and favorite hoodie. Tastes exactly like silence at 9 p.m. with your phone turned off. A bottle of something good on the table. And no lies echoing through your walls. It's not revenge. It's release. It was almost a week later when the final mask slipped. I had not spoken to Rachel since the HR stunt. No texts. No calls. No slipping back into the old routine. I kept my distance. Changed my number. Even started staying at a buddy's place just to breathe easier. But I made one mistake. I forgot she still had access to our shared photo album. Not iCloud. An old Google Photos folder we used to dump trip pictures, anniversary selfies, goofy clips from beach days. We had not used it in months, but it was still synced. Still live. And Rachel? She used it. That morning. I got an alert. New photo added to shared album. 11 items. My gut told me not to look. But I did. The first was a mirror pic of her and Ryan. Hotel room. She was in one of my old t-shirts, my t-shirt, and he was behind her grinning like a fool flipping off the mirror. The next few were screenshots. One was a cropped piece of my message to her. Me calling her out, sliced down to make me look unhinged. The next was a photo of the front door with my note still taped to it. Captioned. The night he lost it. But the last one was a selfie of her smiling. No filter. Just smug satisfaction. Her caption? Finally free. That was it. Not a cry for help. Not a sign of remorse. Just victory. Like she'd won some sick competition I never agreed to be a part of. She wanted to leave a scar. That's what that was. A final knife twist. But here's what she did not understand. You see, not scar someone who's already healed. Because by then I was not angry anymore. I was not heartbroken. I was not even surprised. I looked at that photo and felt nothing. Just confirmation. Just proof that the person I loved was never really there. Rachel was not broken. She was not lost. She was selfish. She did not want love. She wanted control. And when she lost that, she lashed out like a cornered animal. Desperate to flip the narrative. To turn the world into a courtroom where she could play both the victim and the star witness. But I was not playing anymore. I quietly removed myself from the shared album. Closed the last remaining window she could reach me through. And I sat back, phone in hand, and just exhaled. It was over. Really over. She could not get to me now. Not through pity. Not through rage. Not through guilt. And once you realize someone's chaos no longer has a door into your peace, you do not grieve them anymore. You forget them. And that's exactly what I started doing. The divorce papers were filed on a rainy Tuesday. No big drama. No courtroom shouting match. Just a quiet visit to my attorney's office. A few signatures. And a gentle click of the pen when it was over. That was it. 7 years, 3 anniversaries, a million promises. Reduced to a half-inch stack of legal paperwork, and an envelope with her name on it. I walked out with the finalized documents in my hands and a strange feeling in my chest. Not relief. Not grief. Something in between. Like finishing a book you hated by the end but still had to read every word of because you needed to know how it finished. She did not respond right away when she was served. But I knew she got them. 3 hours later I got a Venmo request for $43.87. For the curtains. You took them. I stared at it for a long minute, then laughed so hard I actually had to pull over. Not because of the money but because it was the most Rachel thing possible. No mention of the affair. No response to the folder of evidence. Just her still trying to control the narrative through petty footnotes. I declined the request. Then blocked her. Again. I figured that would be it. The last spark from a dying fire. But of course Rachel had one more trick up her sleeve. That Friday I came back from the gym to find a note slipped under the door of my buddy's apartment. No envelope. No signature. Just her handwriting. It said, "If you'd been man enough, none of this would have happened." I stood there in the hallway for a long time just staring at it. That one sentence told me everything I needed to know about her. Not who she really was beneath the tears and Instagram apologies and forced therapy talk. No ownership. No regret. Just blame. Even at the end she had to make it about me not being enough. Not exciting enough. Not wild enough. Not worth staying loyal to. And you know what? That was the moment I felt the last piece fall into place. Because if someone like her thinks you're not enough, that's not an insult. That's a compliment. I took the note, folded it once, and tossed it in the trash on my way to the kitchen. Bought myself some eggs. Played some music. Opened the windows. And for the first time in over a year, I felt good. Not okay. Not surviving. Good. Because I did not just walk away from her. I walked back to myself. I took a long walk that night. Nothing special, just around the block, hoodie on, hands in my pockets, breathing in that late spring air that always smells like concrete, cut grass, and second chances. The streets were quiet. A few porch lights on windows glowing. The world moving on, indifferent to my story, to hers, to the mess she made. And I loved it. Because for once everything was not about her. No more Rachel drama flooding my phone at 2 a.m. No more mental gymnastics over girls' nights or lying about where she'd been. No more fake apologies followed by real manipulation. Just silence. Stillness. Freedom. You know, when I think back on it all, I do not feel stupid for loving her. I feel stupid for ignoring the signs. The sudden coldness. The gaslighting. The twisted way she made my trust the problem instead of her betrayal. And I let her. God, I let her walk all over me in the name of not being controlling, when really I was just afraid of facing the truth. That she did not love me. Not anymore. Maybe not ever. She loved control. Comfort. Validation. The thrill of being wanted by two people and the safety net of one. I was the net. The fallback. The fool in the wings while she played the lead in someone else's show. But not anymore. The next morning I woke up and made coffee the way I like it. Took my time. Sat on the balcony with no one texting me lies or dragging me into their emotional mess. I got through an entire morning without second-guessing myself. No, should I call her back? No, maybe I overreacted. No, I did not overreact. I underreacted for months. But never again. I'm meeting with a realtor next week. I'm leaving the city after the divorce finalizes. Being fresh somewhere that does not smell like her perfume or echo with the memory of slammed doors and fake tears. A clean break. A new chapter. One where my name is not written next to her mistakes. And if I have anything to say to someone out there reading this wondering if they re crazy for feeling like their partner is lying, manipulating, cheating, you re not crazy. You re catching the pattern. Trust your gut. Trust your eyes. Trust the version of you that looks in the mirror and knows you deserve peace, honesty, and respect. Do not wait for the crash. Do not wait for the apology that never comes. Choose yourself before someone like Rachel convinces you not to. Because when you finally do, when the last life aids and the last door shuts, the silence is not empty. It is sacred. And it sounds a lot like freedom.